Got Your Back Podstream is brought to you by Mr. Dirk. From casual wear to suits and formals, Mr. Dirk helps you find the perfect fit with the right look for any occasion. Step up your wardrobe at MrDirk.com.
How are we doing, folks? Welcome to Got Your Back, Saturday night post-game live edition. Jason Strudwick along for the ride tonight, and Rob Brown will be joining us in just a little bit. Oilers, boy, that's a good one to win. Right before a big break like that, you pick up a win. Everybody's feeling good about themselves heading into the break. Fans can breathe a little easier. And Vasili Podkolzin off the schneid. The hard work is paying off. Welcome to the show, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am coming at everybody, Struds, from our mobile Adrenaline Diesel studio, and because of that, I am driving. Struddy's going to take care of the ad reads, but Struddy, you're on the home Adrenaline Diesel studio tonight, bud.
I sure am. It's Edmonton's premier heavy-duty diesel truck repair shop, specialized in powertrain tuning, performance, and part sales. Visit adrenalinediesel.ca.
And as always, my friend, our show is presented by our proud title sponsor, Play Alberta.
Why choose Play Alberta? Just ask any hockey fan who loves odds boosts, player props, and same-game parlays, or slot players who love the massive jackpots, or lottery players who can grab last-minute tickets on the go. Deposit today and get a $50 free bet with code GYB11. Visit playalberta.ca.
All right, good stuff, buddy. So, Struds, you tell me. I mean, you know, players look ahead. They see these breaks on the schedule. The difference between laying an egg tonight and ended up on the wrong side of this one and going into the break feeling like crap about yourself versus the path they took tonight, which was solid. Just the whole break feels and tastes better, I would imagine, hey?
It does. It really does. And, you know, the previous game was a really tough one. Just a lot of reasons. And tonight, that everyone can feel good about their game, right? They all played well. They had good moments against a good team. Like the Rangers are a really good team. And, you know, to be fair, they got up early. Then the Rangers are looking, you know, we got a 5 or 6 hour flight home here. Like this is probably not our night. And they kind of pushed them out of a game. So, really good outcome, but knowing now you don't play for whatever 5-6 days, and you can feel good about your game. And you know, Podkolzin scoring is a huge thing because now he has a whole week to think, man, I just scored, rather than, oh, I haven't scored yet.
That guy might not leave the rink. He might just stay at the rink for the entire break and work on his shot because that kid has put the work in. So nice to see him get rewarded tonight. We got a lot to break down tonight, and we look forward to Rob Brown joining us in a little bit here as he's finishing up the postgame show over on 880 Ched. So Struds, courtesy of our friends at Alberta Ram Dealers, let's get to breaking it down.
Yeah, the Cross Canada Clear Out continues with even bigger deals. Get up to $13,600 in total discounts on 2024 Ram 1500 DT Laramie Crew Cab. See a Ram dealer today.
All right. Struds, I think, you know, McDavid was lights out tonight. You know, Nurse comes back. That was a great storyline. Evan Bouchard, bounce back night, playing sick. Almost didn't play in this game tonight. There's a lot of really good storylines, buddy. But Vasili Podkolzin, to me, I want to put a bit of a focus on this one because, you know, I've watched this player grinding, trying to find it. And on a night like tonight, he finds it. So take us through, like, the goal, but the celebration, and kind of a nice little cap to a nice story here, a guy that's working hard to find it, Struddy.
Right. So you put out videos on Twitter, kind of highlighting how early he gets out there and he practices. And you know, you're not necessarily going to just upgrade your skill in 2 months that much that all of a sudden you can you know, you're going to become a 50 goal scorer. But what you can be is you just get that feel, that touch that when it comes here, I know I've shot this shot 100 times or 2,000 times or whatever it is in practice, and he just has that feel. And you know, the puck was driven wide by Leon. Podkolzin kind of finds a little bit of quiet area, and Leon, as he does, finds him, and he was ready to shoot. It wasn't a complete one-timer. It's kind of like a snapshot one-timer, but he was ready to shoot it, and he was waiting for that pass to come. He knew it was coming, and he was ready to go. So he fires it in, scores, and then he drifts off into the corner, just kind of puts his heads up and says, finally I got it. And I get it. Like, he realizes or understands that when you play with Leon Draisaitl, you need to score. That's just the way it is. And Brownie said it many times. You can't have 0 goals playing with him. But
for sure,
if you keep doing the right things, keep working at it, can he be a guy that scores 10 to 15? And is that enough playing beside Leon? Is that enough for him if he's doing all the other things that I love about his game? Being physical, making good plays, getting the puck to Leon. And those are things that Leon values. So is it enough? But you still have to score. So I think there was a lot of emotion flooding out of him. And I'm really interested for him, what he looks like, let's say, the next 5 to 10 games, goal scoring wise.
Yeah, it would almost be better for him if he could just re-rack it and play again tomorrow.
For sure.
Coming off of this, now having to sit on it, but he'll be putting in the work. So a couple of points I'm going to make on Podkolzin. You talked about the video. Zuby, I'm not sure if you can roll it or not.
Yeah, I got it.
But so a couple of practices in a row, Struds, and it's not like this has never been done before. I mean, Joe Pavelski spent his entire career doing this. But it's a 10:30 morning skate, and I was even a couple of minutes. He was out there a couple of minutes before I got there, so it's 10:06 or whatever, and he's out there by himself. He's literally the only one in the building, it seems like, and he just starts working on stuff, and he's shooting pucks, and he's stick handling, and he's just doing all this stuff all by himself. So I was there early twice this week, and both times, he's out there doing this. And the comment I made in the tweet is that players notice this stuff. And then the other point I want to make about him, Struds, so Vasili Podkolzin is still in the top 6 with Leon Draisaitl on a night where, Victor Arvidsson is not available. On a night where Zach Hyman is not available. There are 2 top 6 forwards not available. Podkolzin stays in the top 6. By the way, Kapanen in the top 6 ahead of Skinner, and maybe that's a discussion for a little bit later. But Struds, the fact that there are 2 top 6 forwards missing and Podkolzin still right in there.
Yeah, so let's talk about going out on the ice early. I loved that time when I could go out early. Now it's hard because sometimes coaches have meetings, which I never understood, just before practice. Like, why do you need that? But that is the time where you can work on what you think you need to work on. But for fans or media, you can see what the player thinks he needs to work on pre or post practice.
Yeah.
And I love that time. I absolutely loved being out there at that time, especially when there were very few people in there or doing it. So give him credit, because if it was easy to go out there early, everybody would do it. But not everybody goes out early. And I played with plenty of guys that I felt should have put more time in, and they didn't. And that's fine. They don't have to. But going out there early, putting the time in, it just shows a commitment that you're actually really in all sincerity trying to improve or trying to work on one part of your game. So I think it's a great message. And you're right. Other players do see it. Are you in the gym? Are you in working out? Are you eating right? Are you looking after yourself? Like, let's be honest. Tonight, if you want to go out and rip it up tonight's a perfect night. Tonight is a night to go and hammer it down. But if you have a game Monday, is tonight the night? Maybe not. Maybe not the night. Especially you're not bringing your best game if your game isn't in perfect shape right now.
Yeah. Grab the Weiss Johnson read there, Struds, because there's some really, really good sound post game tonight. From the Oiler locker room. So let's get to the Weiss Johnson soundbox, my friend.
Yeah, get your home holiday ready with Weiss Johnson. With any new furnace installed before Christmas, they're offering free duct cleaning. Whether your old furnace has given up or you're just looking to upgrade for a cozier day or a cozier holiday, they've got you covered, and your ducts too. Visit weissjohnson.com for more details. Hit it.
Weiss Johnson, whoa.
Nice. You and Zuby have a better synergy. He's a little tighter when you do the reads. It's like he's got your cadence down better than he's got mine down, buddy. I think so.
It's
here's
the goalie defenseman thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there you go. Never trust the forward. So remember when Connor McDavid talked about Vasili Podkolzin after the game, and it really struck me the way McDavid talked about Podkolzin, because like I said, I've interviewed many players about those guys about, hey, what'd you think of this player on your line? What'd you think of this player on your line? And it was very, to use my word, notable to me, the care in which McDavid spoke about Podkolzin. Well, take a listen to Leon Draisaitl tonight. And you tell me, folks, this guy had 0 goals and has been hanging in on Leon Draisaitl's line. You want to know why? Take a listen to Leon Draisaitl here.
Yeah, the same as every night. He's a really, really good hockey player. He's really underrated. And he does a lot of things that, go unnoticed, and that a lot of people that don't really understand hockey, they don't pick up on it. But he's a really underrated hockey player. Obviously, very happy for him to, get on the board. He's had plenty of looks, and, hopefully it's opens the floodgates a little bit.
Would you mind expanding on that a little bit, just in the sense that you've played with him for a long time now, and what makes you two kind of connect? What do you like?
He's really smart, and he passes the puck extremely well. He makes the right plays almost every single time. On top of that, he works his off. And he gets in on the forecheck. He's hard to play against. When he creates turnovers, he has the puck and he makes the right play after. And I think that's what, was really underrated with him. He's good on his backhand. Very, very fun to play with.
Does he become?
I mean, those were 2 full answers, and he didn't have to repeat himself. He had so many points about Podkolzin's game, Struds, that he went out of his way to mention. Like, Leon Draisaitl does not give that answer unless Leon Draisaitl, has really strong feelings about this player and what he's been bringing to the table. That's rare from Leon to talk like that.
Well, I've spoken earlier about how if Leon didn't like playing with him, Podkolzin wouldn't be beside him. Like, yeah. And not that I'm saying that he's running the team, but when a guy isn't scoring and he's still staying beside that center, there's something going on there. That's not just, the coach wants me to play with him, so I'm just going to keep doing it. There's maybe some advocating going on for the player. And then, you can just tell that he enjoys everything playing with him. And who wouldn't want to play with someone that is physical, gets the puck, can make plays, giving you the puck back, which is as important, which is what Leon wants. And not that Leon doesn't go get it himself, but he wants the puck coming to him. So this last piece, and it's an important piece, and Brownie's highlighted it before, he's got to figure out how to score and to finish on some of those looks, but he's getting in those positions to score. And I think that, like I said, if he can, chip in here and there, I mean, it'd be a very healthy thing for obviously him, but for the Oilers team, if he can do that, a big body in your top 6.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to be a little bit critical of myself here, Struds, because, we've had many debates on this show about physicality and hitting and that kind of thing. And one of the points that I've often made is that I didn't think this coaching staff did a consistent or a good enough job of truly rewarding guys that played that way, right? Who, that guys who went out and brought that requisite energy and brought that type of game, that it didn't resonate through the lineup, that, look, if you play a certain way, it'll be appreciated and you're going to be rewarded. But I think it would be fair to say that he absolutely has done that with Podkolzin. Now, I don't think it's just about the fact that he hits as much as anybody on the team. It's about much more than that. But the messaging from the head coach as well, in having stuck with this player ahead of, say, a Skinner, who's much more naturally inclined to slide into those roles and be set up for success there. The fact that the head coach has done that is maybe I was a little bit wrong here. He has, in fact, done that with Podkolzin and sent that signal that I believe reverberates through a lineup. The other guys that might be in line for that spot, for those minutes, they must know why he's getting them.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree with you about your disagreeing on yourself. I don't think it's that Podkolzin's just being physical. He's staying up there. I think he's getting pucks back and getting them to Leon. And that is a big deal for a top player. So I'd put those two above the hitting. Drake Caggiula had a big hit today on in the game. So, in Capo Caco. So, he's not going to move up because he doesn't make those plays. Skinner so far hasn't figured out how to play with Leon. right? He wants to have the puck. Well, when you're playing with him, you don't have the puck. You slide it over. So that's going to take some time for Skinner to figure out. Then he obviously, Arvidsson's been out now. I'm not sure who else would be sliding up there, but that's how I see the separation for Podkolzin is he's still making plays while being physical. It's not that he's being physical and then the plays are the secondary marker.
Zuby, is my signal getting a little mucky? Struddy was getting a little muddy there for me. Am I coming through okay, buddy?
No, you sound fine right now. So maybe it was just, no, you sound good.
I am. Okay, just making sure. If the signal gets a little wonky, then you guys can just take it for the rest of the segment and do Relentless Player and such. Yeah, Struds, and I'm not suggesting that the reason that he's been on that line is because he's hitting more. I think it's about more than that. But doing the right things consistently, so it's the work ethic, it's the commitment to being physical, it's the bringing the energy every single night. He definitely has rewarded this player when the goals and the assists and the goals anyways haven't been coming. So I do think I probably should have acknowledged that that Podkolzin, despite the lack of offense, has really been shown a vote of confidence from this coaching staff for playing where he is. We've gone long enough. Let's get back to the Weiss Johnson soundbox and let's hear from the man himself.
Yeah, finally. It takes much longer than I thought, but I mean, sometimes God gives you a little bit challenges for your life and for being like better hockey player or better person. So I'm happy with it and keep working, keep going. He tell me like almost after every game like that, keep going, everything is good, like work hard and this stuff will come. And yeah, finally I scored and I gotta score more.
Finally I scored and I'm gonna score more. A few of us media guys were chuckling after Struds. It's like he speaks good English, but he doesn't speak good enough English to to BS you at all. He's right to the point. I love that about him. His English is just good enough that he's right to the point. I finally scored and I'm going to score more. And by the way, he was talking about Leon Draisaitl being the one for lots of words of encouragement and such. Cool also that his parents, Knobloch, shared with us that his parents had been in town for like a week or 10 days. And this was the last night that they were in town. And they were able to watch him score this goal, which is certainly a really cool moment. Struds, I'll leave it wide open for you. Where else do you want to take what you saw tonight and what was, to you a big part of the storyline tonight?
Well, let's give credit to Knobloch. He mixed those lines up pretty heavily. When I saw them roll out after the morning skate, I'm like, ooh, wow, that's a bit of a surprise. And some of the, Cap. So for those that didn't watch the game, Kapanen was beside Connor, right? So he just got picked up on
McDavid, and Brown.
Sorry. Yeah, right. So just kind of.
Nuge and McDavid, right? Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, Nuge, McDavid, and Kapanen. That was his second game, and I thought he was okay the other night. But it was hard to look great in a game where the team is pretty flat. So and I thought Kapanen looked pretty good there. He also can make plays. He's pretty fast, and he can make plays. He's a little bit physical in there. So I like that. I like that Knobloch, isn't afraid to shuffle the deck a little bit when he feels that maybe there's an opportunity for someone new or a different look to the lines.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I saw that as well, and I was kind of like, interesting, that he went and gave him the look there. But I like that. And again, he was, he played reasonably well in his first game, got in there a little bit, and so he gets rewarded with that. Darnell Nurse, we absolutely have to talk about the night for him. What I liked about Nurse tonight, Struds, is like one more game. He takes one more game off, and he buys himself like another 5-6 days to get totally clear of the injury. And I'm not saying that he would have put himself in jeopardy or made a bad decision tonight or anything like that. Like, they don't let these guys play unless they pass their baseline tests and all that, or pass their concussion tests and all that. But Struds, I believe there are a lot of players out there who would have squeezed in that extra game off just to make sure. And Darnell Nurse, man, we talked to him after the game. Like, he wanted to be in there. and he was playing good before he got hurt, and he picked up right where he left off after a tough injury.
I am of the opposite. I believe he should have sat it out. Now, I'm not second guessing the medical staff. The trainers are amazing. They're the owners have, and every NHL has really elite ones. But it was a pretty significant, I think, hit he took a week ago. And I think that, it would have been wise for him to sit one more game. And I get it. He wants to come back, and that's what you love about him, right? He's a fighter. He
I
comes
just
in.
respect it. Yeah.
He's not a fighter. I don't mean a fighter in the sense of like he's fights, but he's a competitor. That's a better word. He goes out there and do it. But I honestly, in my heart, I would have said, buddy, you got to sit out. Sit out one more game. But so I'll leave that there. But outside of that, he was jumping in. He made plays. He scored the nice goal. Tough play on the backhander there, and although the goal doesn't really matter, anytime you make a soft backhand play in your own zone, it's generally speaking more bad than good things happen off of that play. So that's a tough one there. But for the most part, he was good. He was back in there wheeling and dealing. And he was fine. And Kulak still continues to impress, continues to play well beside Darnell.
For sure. Let's get back to the Weiss Johnson soundbox. Here was Darnell Nurse post-game.
I pushed a little bit to be in, but with that said, I mean, it's the brain. Like, I'm not going to, with head injuries and stuff, you're not going to go out there unless you feel 100% that you're capable of, one, going out and doing your job, and two, you don't want to put yourself in a situation where you're, setting yourself back months. So I think we did a really good job of taking care of him. There's a lot of work that went into it, but I felt very comfortable to go out there and just play in it.
Did they tell you had to tighten up the chin strap a little, or was that you?
Yeah.
That was your mom?
Oh, she was so mad. Yeah. My mom's been telling me for a while, though, so I figured I may as well listen now.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you caught it, Strud. Zuby, show everybody. Here's the comparison. Darnell Nurse before and Darnell Nurse after taking that hit from Ryan Reeves. Look how tight that chin strap is, Strud. He's got it right to the Adam's apple.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. I mean, I guess it makes a difference. I don't know. I guess it keeps your helmet on, I suppose, in that moment. But I mean, if you're
better,
it's hard for it's hard to disagree with your mom, because in my experience, moms are relentless. When there's something they feel, like my mom, if I forgot my mouth guard, she'd be all over me. I was like 10 years deep into NHL. It's like, how come you don't have your mouth guard in? I'm like, what? How'd you even notice that? So you need to just sometimes you just do it to get your mom off your back. And like, I love my mom, and moms are amazing, but like, okay, I'll do the chin strap, but it doesn't make that big of a difference, I don't think, one way or another.
I thought it was pretty funny. Let's get to Evan Bouchard. So Evan Bouchard was 50-50 to play tonight. He did not skate yesterday, did not take the morning skate today either. And then we were told he was 50-50 to play. He's not well. And so I thought he actually looked pretty good tonight, considering he was as sick as he was, Struds. But we've seen this, right? Some down games, and then some really nice bounce back games from Bouchard. It's been up and down, but that pass he made, I mean, that right there offensively was so much of what you love from Evan Bouchard.
Yeah, I mean, he has his head up, and first off, I talk about Kapanen. That was a good play. He drives the puck wide. I might have liked him seeing him take it to the net there. Like instead of going behind the net, I think I would have preferred to see him attack the net and try to create some chaos there. But he carries the puck around. He finds Bouchard to the far side. Then Bouchard passes it back to that far side again. His head is up the whole way. And Connor just perfectly gets himself in position. And it's an easy goal for him. But it turned out really well. But I think in the playoffs, Kapanen, you drive that puck to the net and get a shot on the net. I think that's the play right there.
Yeah. And what did you think of Bouchard kind of overall tonight?
Yeah, he was good. I mean, it wasn't the hardest night. I didn't think the Rangers had a lot of jump. In the first period, they didn't have a ton. Second, they definitely pushed. Then the third, both teams just dropped it into neutral. But he was good. I mean, what are you gonna? It's hard for Bouchard because he has these great moments, these high end moments. Then he makes some decisions that are really low end. So for him, I don't think it's so much about taking away the high end, obviously. It's about playing more in the middle and not having those bottoms. So raising your floor, I guess, so that your floor is now the middle and your top is high, not have your top so high and your bottom so low. That's the challenge for Bouchard. And that's something that we have to evaluate over 60 games. You can't do it over three periods at a time, right?
Yeah, for sure. Great point. Okay, I want to get to Matthias Janmark's night because I thought there were some really critical moments from Matthias Janmark and such, but we'll save some of that for takeaways because we got lots of show left. So Struds, I'm a couple of minutes from the house, but I think Brownie's almost ready to go too. So why don't you guys go ahead and do Relentless Player and then take a break and we can bring Brownie in and I'll rejoin you in a couple of minutes from the home studio.
Yeah, we'll get the poll done too. We'll get it all in there for you.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, awesome, buddy. Thanks. We'll talk in a couple of minutes.
All right, troops. Relentless Player brought to you by You Can Use Services. Are you looking to hire entry-level staff for your company? You Can Use Services trains youth in pre-employment skills to help get them ready, willing, and able to join your team. Check out www.youcan.ca for more information. Pretty easy. I don't think that this is a big surprise. I'm going with Vasili Podkolzin. Obviously, for many of the reasons we outlined tonight, including the game winner, but also to recognize that when you put extra time in before and after practice, it slowly does help, right? It slowly does kick in. You find that touch or you find that ability to win faceoffs or skating improves or whatever. But the thing for Vasili now is to not stop. He's got to continue that, not just for the rest of this year, not just for the times with the Oilers, but probably, hopefully for him, the next 10 years of an NHL career, Zuby.
Yeah, it's basically the definition of relentless. And they said even there was some talk of him out there. Apparently he kind of practices that shot too. Okay. And nice. that there was some talk in post about that he practices that kind of half slapper off the rush. And it was nice to see them score a goal off the rush too. But no, everything, nothing but good vibes about this guy tonight. And you just hope it's some traction into some more goals going in, some more pucks going in the net for him.
Yeah. I think it would just really make him feel more comfortable and feel that he fits in beside Leon. And Leon can say all the good things he wants about him. And I truly believe that Leon feels that way. But as a player, you want to contribute. You want to do some heavy lifting and score as well. And you're getting a great opportunity. Let's just think contract wise. He is in an unbelievable spot here playing with Leon. If he can score, there's a chance he could have that spot for the next 60 games and then extend that beyond just this year. So that is a huge opportunity. So he's feeling it. He knows that this is a really critical time in his career, real critical time. If he can, say, delivers even 10 to 15 goals, play and continues to get pucks, continues to be physical. There's probably, it's a nice problem. It's a nice thing to have there for him. Okay, so that brings us to our YouTube poll brought to you by DeBoer's Golf Shop and Fitting Center, helping you play better golf since 1999 with their TrackMan fitting bays, instruction, and after-sales support, golf merchandise, and clothing. Check out the Pro Shop style atmosphere located at 5311 99th Street in Edmonton. And let's get to the poll, and I'm going to erase one guy out of it I'll tell you why. So go ahead.
That'll be interesting because the results coming in, we know who's kind of winning it, but the lower part of the bracket is surprising me a little bit. So let's see if you're going to erase who's closer to the bottom here. So here's the poll question tonight. Who had the best redemption story tonight? Vasili Podkolzin, Darnell Nurse, Evan Bouchard, or Stu Skinner. Those are the four choices. And I thought they each, it's not perfect, but I feel like there's a bit of redemption for each four of those guys. So who do you feel should not be on that list?
So I don't let me influence your votes here, people, but I believe Podkolzin should not be on that list. Oh. And so I know. So let me say why, because I feel that it wasn't redemption. He's played well. He's done everything really well. Like if you look at those other four, you could make, well, maybe not even Darnell Nurse, but Bouchard and Skinner for sure. They've had some highs and some lows. Whereas I think for Podkolzin, other than not scoring, a couple goals, what has he not done? He's exceeded my expectations. I think everyone's expectations of what he can bring or what he's brought to this team. So I would respectfully remove him off that lineup. I'd even take Nurse out because I think he's played well. So then it comes down to last two. And ironically, Skinner and Bouchard are the two with the least number of votes. So obviously everyone feels differently than me, Zoops.
Yeah, maybe then looking back, redemption's not the right word. It's who, but that to me, there's an element of it. And for Nurse, I think just the redemption aspect for him is coming back from the injury, not poor play, but coming back from a pretty tough site, and that more of the comeback aspect, I suppose, than the redemption. But yeah, still, I think Podkolzin's got a place in people's hearts tonight. So we'll see. And what you want to say should influence that's part of what we're here to do. I think it's okay for you to influence the votes. Brownie does it all. When Brownie's here for the poll, I see the votes start changing the minute he finishes talking about it. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
I love it. All right, well, let's dump out here. When we come back, we'll get into takeaways. Brownie, Shogger, Zoobs, and myself. Right back with you guys.
With over 18 years in the industry, Kelly Zaretsky and her team at Blue Summit Accounting deliver client-focused solutions and financial guidance for success in a simple and comfortable way. Whether it's for corporate or personal needs, Blue Summit Accounting can help with taxes, estate planning, financial services, bookkeeping, and more. Get in touch today. Email bluesummitacct@gmail.com or call 780-416-9662.
At Gallery Dental, we believe in blending exceptional care with artistry to create the perfect smile for you. From routine cleanings to advanced cosmetic procedures, our team is dedicated to providing top-notch care in a relaxed and comfortable environment. With state-of-the-art technology and a passion for perfection, we ensure that every visit is a positive experience. Join the Gallery Dental family and let us help you achieve a smile that you'll love to show off. Contact us today at secolanddentistry.com.
Why haven't we got you, Shogger? Let's come on to this shot. Have we got you here?
Oh, you got me here? Okay.
Yeah, that was very strange. Nothing. It had you in the green room. My apologies.
Oh, you had me stuffed in the green room. Well, I am not. I am back on the show. Time now for takeaways, brought to you by Horizon Ag and Turf. And with the holidays coming, Horizon Ag and Turf can help you get your shopping list cleared up quickly. Visit their Edmonton West dealership for a full showroom of green and yellow gifts, or shop online at horizonagandturf.com. You'll find the largest selection of John Deere toys, clothing, and so much more. As Rob Brown is joining us now, wrapped up his post-game show. Brownie, the people were happier tonight. I assume Oilers go to the break on a positive note. The calls were more positive?
They were. Still, there were some questions about Stuart Skinner, which I thought was funny because I thought he had an excellent game tonight. Never satisfied, but yeah, no, everyone's happy. It was Studio 99 was packed. Everyone's in a good mood, and they should be. The Oilers were dominant. That was a really, really good effort against a New York team that's got a ton of talent, and the Oilers were better in every aspect of the game. So it was a good night for the Oilers.
So, Struds, we're not like, we're going to put everything in proper context. We're not going to club you over the head as though you've been cheering against Vasili Podkolzin all year or anything goofy like that. We know you have not been. We know you appreciate the work ethic that he puts in and such. Your suggestion might have been time to get somebody in there with more of a pedigree for scoring goals and who, quite frankly, has already scored more goals this year. What do you think of Knobloch's decision to have stuck with him through this, and then what you saw from him tonight?
I thought Podkolzin was excellent. I'm a fan of Podkolzin. I really am. When you're 21 games into the season and you've got 0 goals playing with Leon Draisaitl, you need production. I mean, people are hammering Hyman and Nugent Hopkins and players like that for not having enough production, and they've got more than what Podkolzin given them. But he was good. He does all the little things right. He gives you everything that you want except for the offense. And tonight he was rewarded. It's funny, he had two one-timers in the first period. The first one missed by about 12 feet. The second one, he made absolute sure that was going in the net. So, no, it was a good night I cheer for the kid. I love stories of people that appreciate what they have. And I do believe this kid appreciates his opportunity, and he's doing everything possible to keep it going, to stay in, not only to stay in the NHL, but to stay on a line with one of the best players in the world. He knows what this could mean to him in his career. Yeah, I'm cheering for him. And it was a good game. But now it's one thing to play on the first or second line and have a good game, have a goal. It's another thing to have consistency. Now he's got to continue. Hopefully this is the start of many goals for Vasili Podkolzin.
Yeah, he needs to score. There's no doubt about it. He's got to chip in, even though Leon obviously clearly likes playing with him. He's got to find a way to score more regularly, right? And I think confidence, that first one might break it. It might break it for him. I'm curious. We don't really talk about this guy, but Kapanen. Again, the last game, let's put it aside. What do we think about Kapanen? Makes a nice play on McDavid's first goal, but overall, I when Hyman and everyone gets healthy, I'm guessing he's probably squeezed down, boys.
I agree,
Brownie?
Strud. He'll be a guy that'll move down in the lineup, but you're getting nice play from him. He does look like he's got a little bit of speed. He finishes his checks. You're getting a depth player now. When everyone's healthy, is he in your lineup? I mean, when you get Kane back, you get Arvidsson back, you get Hyman back. I mean, you don't know, but if you're a guy that's been picked up by a new team off waivers and you know there's players coming back, all you can do is impress with your opportunities. And I think the two games that he's played well. And that he just, every game he plays, it's just, all right, I got to get myself into the lineup the next night and just continue to do that. And then you hope you catch lightning in a bottle and everything works for you. But I think he's been fine. It's been a nice ad right now for the Edmonton Oilers.
Well, I agree. He looked decent tonight and had some good looks there, Struds. I like the fact that he's not afraid to finish check and that he skates fast. But I'm going to be honest with you guys. The Oilers have had 12 forwards all year. And when Arvidsson and Hyman are back, I don't think he's with this team. I think he's back on waivers and he's in the minors. I don't think this is a guy that's just, and they might be ready to go by next week. So I'm not positive that we'll see him again here. Kajula will go down, and what else? They got two regulars coming back, and they don't carry an extra forward.
See, but Shogger, that's what I'm trying to say, though, is you're trying to, every time you get out there, you have an opportunity to impress, to get one more game. And I know that Arvidsson and Hyman may be back, but then all of a sudden maybe Henrique's out, or all of a sudden maybe Connor Brown's out. So every time you play, you're giving them one more opportunity to see what you're capable of doing. And who knows, maybe injuries just keep bottling up, bang, 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 and you get 25 games in a row. But if this team is fully healthy, I don't know. And I said that before when they first picked him. I don't think he'll be here when the playoffs start. But the only thing he can control is how he plays when he gets his opportunity. And I think in the two games that he's played, I think he's played fine.
He might not be there in Utah when they play on Friday. We'll have to wait and see what the word is on Arvidsson and what the word is on Zach Hyman for sure. Okay, Struds.
Shogger, can I interject on Kapanen? Many people asking on the stream about does anyone know why Eck was so pissed at Kapanen after a great pass for a goal? They highlighted it on Hockey Night in Canada as well, and there was a very unusual moment between them in the celebration. Does any of you guys see that? Do you have any thoughts about what it was about?
I missed it. I didn't see it at all.
Yeah, so when Ekholm comes in the pile, he comes in the pile and he's saying something. He's talking, right? He's talking to him he's just he's the last guy, and he goes right to him and starts saying something to him, kind of like your dad look, right? Now, I didn't see what happened on TV, and maybe the guys on the panel, they picked it up. I said earlier, Brownie, I think on that goal, I think I would have I don't know that Ekholm said this, but I wanted him to drive that puck and take it to the net instead of going around the net. Last year, we were always criticizing McLeod for going around the net. Drive that puck, put your shoulder and drive that puck to the net. I don't know that Ekholm said that, but I think that's what I would have been thinking.
Yeah, but that'd be a weird one though to say when you score a goal. I mean,
yeah,
in that moment, yeah. So I mean, I honestly, I wouldn't even. I don't want to say anything about it because I don't know. I didn't even see it. But that would be an odd time to bring up. Hey, I know we're celebrating a goal, but you know what? You could have done better. That'd be a weird one. So I didn't see it, but that's the one thing I have learned about Ekholm here. The guy is a leader, and I think that's a thing that's overlooked sometimes. The plus minus is good. The how he's turned Bouchard around and all of these things are great. But that guy's a leader, and he leads both on the ice and also the way he talks after games when he discusses what he sees. There's so many intangibles that Matthias Ekholm brings to this team that has made this team a better hockey club because of him.
So I'm just watching now. Zuby, did Hockey Night have a longer replay than what was just showed here? Like
they did, but they showed the whole rush coming up, and they were a little bit befuddled as well. They didn't really seem from the segment that I saw. They weren't really sure what.
Like I just looked at it here, and like what I saw on this highlight, Ekholm could have been saying anything to him. I didn't. Maybe they showed a longer look on the broadcast, though I didn't see it. But
it looked stern. It looked like it was a stern talking to you after you're celebrating a goal.
But it could have been something as simple as, "Hey, you do that every night, and you're going to stick around." Like you don't
I suppose,
know, right?
Yeah.
Like good point. Anyway, like I said, I didn't see the whole thing. Okay, Struds, I know it's been killing you for us to be 41 minutes into the show, and for us to not have led with or talked about the penalty kill yet. And I'm not gonna lie to you, bud. Like you've been on this one. You started bringing it up, and you feel we're not. We need to be pushing this a little more. And with each game that goes by, it's kind of becoming more and more of a thing. So I'm giving you credit here. You've been on this one. But what I love, bud, about the penalty kill tonight, and maybe Janmark in general, not only they're killing everything, but they went out there, had a fantastic scoring chance, drew a penalty that led to a power play goal. I mean, that's value plus from Janmark in your kill.
A lot of times genius is misunderstood till it becomes mainstream. and so I'll take the victory lap. That's 7 games in a row. I started talking after 2 games. So all of a sudden it's become, did Jim Matheson tell you it's okay to talk about the penalty kill now? Is that why everyone's talking about it? Jeez. So anyways, no, listen, I recognize that they're still well below where they need to be, but you got to plant the flag somewhere and push back. So we're starting to see, I don't think they were doing that bad a job before, but their confidence is coming because they haven't been getting scored on. They're getting saves, which is a big issue on the penalty kill, and they're starting to get the confidence. And you outlined one way you see it. They were trying to attack, trying to score, and they draw a penalty. Like, that is a way you express confidence, is by doing, feeling confident to get up the ice and make something happen. So, yeah, I think this is really important. And I'm joking around about it, but I think it's really important. On the flip side, I thought the power play looked best when the second unit started in the third period. We have been talking about that. Though that was clear. They were getting pucks high, bang it to the net, and we're all going to the net to crash. So, I didn't think the power play looked good tonight. Brownie.
Well, the start with the penalty kill. The Oilers dominated the first period, absolutely dominated. They should have been up at 1 point, 3 or 4-0. Quick kept them in the game. They finally get the goals and scores, and you're thinking, okay, they finally have a deserved scoreboard look, and they're going to go into the first period intermission. They're going to be winning, and then they take a penalty, and you're thinking, this is so unfair. If the Rangers score on the power play, going to be 1-1 in a game that should be Oilers up by 2 or 3 minimum. Yeah. That goal by Darnell Nurse, that was so big for that team because they deserved to be up over 2. They did not deserve to be tied. that was the way the game changed. The Oilers were dominant, but at that point, it became their game for the rest of the night. So that was a big kill. As for the power play, again, you're right. It hasn't been good. And I know that there's talk about change this, change that. This power play is through Leon, Connor, and Bouchard. That's who this power play is through. Everyone else, whoever you have in front of the net or Nugent Hopkins, they really, I repeat, they don't have a whole lot to say whether this power play is successful or not, because the plays are made by Connor and Leon. Those plays aren't being made right now. They're a little off. They don't look as confident, and the pucks aren't getting through from Bouchard. And that's where the chaos starts. So when that's not happening, they don't have the advantage of the puck retrieval where they create so much off it, because they're not having to retrieve any pucks because there's so much on the perimeter right now. But you're right. And I was glad they started their second unit late in the game. They deserve that. But again, I go back to what I said before. I don't change the players on the first power play. I just start the second unit more. That sends a message. Now you got a competition for ice time, and then you'll have more urgency. There was a power play tonight, Struds, where the first unit stayed out for the full 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Yeah, and I think that's the one they had.
That it's not.
No. And two bad zone entries,
a
two
couple
giveaways.
Players changed. Yeah.
Yeah. So they
That's just
started
not right.
the second unit, Brownie. They started the second unit because of the score, though. They're not going to roll your top power play
100%.
5-goal lead or whatever.
100. Yep.
4-goal
Yep,
lead.
But what they did
5
deserves more. They deserve more. Like, I thought there was momentum created off that power play. So it's not working right now. And Brownie highlights a lot of good reasons why it's not working. But to just keep putting them out there, I think you got to shake it up. I would start the second unit a couple times and have the second one come out. Just is kind of like just to get their momentum going, right? Change it up a little bit. Just not for the whole year. I know how good they've been, but it's not working. And Knobloch, I'm surprised. He's usually good at tweaking, changing. He's been pretty stubborn with this so far.
It's not. Well, I mean, if anything, he's been stubborn about. It's letting his coaches do what they do, right? Like Glenn Gulletson runs the power play, and he's giving Gulletson the space to, work through it with the players. But fair point, Struds. It's been a while since it's been this middling for this long, and so maybe some changes are.
And it will get back
potentially in order.
I believe it will get back, Schauger. I think to where you want it, but it's just not there right now. So go away from it for even a game and then come back to it. Just change it up.
So Struds, you did a whole Struddy's World the other day on Josh Brown during a commercial break, standing on the red line, staring at the opposition like, hey, everyone, if there's any shenanigans that are going to happen, they're going to happen with me. I am here. And did you notice Corey Perry tonight?
Mm-hmm.
Did they show it on TV? Like, I don't know if it was behind the play or whatever, but you saw Corey Perry with Drake Caggiula when he was messed up with Quick in the crease there, hey?
Well, it drifted away, but I knew what was going on back there.
You should have seen it.
Was it pretty intense?
Oh, buddy. Well, I wouldn't say that it was pretty intense, but I was glad I was in the building to see it because Caggiula's in there, and did he take a little shot at Quick or something or whatever? It got a little heated in the crease.
Yeah.
And Perry comes in and he steps in there in front of everybody, and he steps in front of one guy and no, this is me. And then there was another guy there. So then he stepped in front of that guy. And he made it so crystal clear. If there's any shenanigans that are going to happen, they're going to happen with me. I love that gamesmanship from Corey Perry. That's not Connor McDavid he's backing up. That's Drake Caggiula. And I love that from Perry.
Well, it's funny. Caggiula did nothing other than Quick was frustrated. And he should have been frustrated because his team sucked in front of him. So Caggiula was the closest, so he punched Caggiula a few times. And you're right, then Perry came in, then Quick punched Perry, and Perry turned around like, whoa, I'll stand here. And then Perry kind of smiled at him and skated away. But that's what a veteran does. Corey Perry's he knows how to play the game better than anyone else on that team because he's been doing it for longer than anyone else on that team. There's a reason Corey Perry was brought back to this organization this year. It wasn't for everything he does on the ice offensively. It's what the gamesmanship, the professionalism that sets him apart from all the other players. They like that on the bench, and they like that in situations like he was with Kajula.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, that was Takeaways brought to you by Horizon Egg and Turf. Quick break. When we come back, we will have Struddy's World, Brownie Points, our HSE Core Blue Liners, Take It a Lap, Ask Us Anything. We got lots of show left, so stay with us here on Got Your Back, presented by Play Alberta.
Ready to go all in this season? Mr. Dirk's got you covered with express on-site tailoring, a wide selection of craftsman-made suits, sport coats, and casual staples for every occasion. Score big with Mr. Dirk. We've always got your back. Visit us off White Ave, south of 102nd Street, or browse online at mrdirk.com.
When you make a mistake, heads should roll. It's not right. And I'm here. Someone has to put their foot down. Now that I say it out loud, it does sound a little crazy.
Gotta look good.
I love it. The predictions are already coming in for brownie points. Gord Parchewski says, you think Pod is getting 92 brownie points tonight or what? I think Brownie will be more creative than just giving him 92 tonight. I think he's going to find some other number that's more creative than just 92, but we shall see as Brownie starts scrambling to do some math. Time now for Struddy's World, brought to you by DLR Vinyl Products. They got locations in Calgary and Edmonton. Whether you're a homeowner, a contractor, a builder, DLR is your most reliable source for vinyl fence. Unmatched service, high-quality North American-made products. Visit dlrvinylproducts.ca. Have we lost Brownie there, Zoobs? Oh, there he is.
No, I'm still here. I'm here. I'm all excited. I'm all ears. Struddy's about to talk.
Yeah, that's your favorite segment.
Before I go, for Christmas, Brownie, give everyone a new picture, because I can't look at that picture anymore. It's just, it's almost as bad as. It's almost as. You got another one?
I gave him like 12 pictures. I'm like posing in half of them, shirt off at the beach. Like, seriously.
That's the shirt. I didn't understand the shirt off part. I thought this was kind of the nicest.
It's outrageous.
You told me, you said you wanted pictures from us.
I know.
You wanted pictures from us because you're going to do AI with our faces. So I just sent you a bunch of face shots that happen to be topless in.
It's true. And you're
topless nudes.
George Costanza. So anyways, do us all a favor. Merry Christmas. Send us a new picture. Okay, so I think the Oilers are actually getting an early Christmas gift this year. Right now. They had an incredible run last year. And I've used the word fog. They've been in a bit of a fog, trying to find their game, trying to get themselves, I hate to use this word, but like motivated to play in these preseason and the first 20 games, the first quarter of the year. It's just hard when you know how far you have to go, how hard it is. But now they have a pause in their schedule. It's Saturday night. They don't play again until Friday night. And this pause will give them a chance, to get healthy. The guys are, like Hyman and these types of Arvidsson, hopefully they're healthy. Nurse can have a little more time to recuperate. But what they can do is they can take a deep breath and say, okay, we're a quarter through the season. We've kind of foggied our way through it. And now let's have some really good days of practice, get ourselves dialed in, tweak the things we need to, and then hit the ground running for the next 4 or 5 weeks before we get to Christmas. They've got a decent schedule coming up here, but I honestly think, guys, this is a gift that is the perfect timing for the Oilers after the fog, and now they can reset and hit it again, heading into what's another quick break at Christmas time.
And that's a good point, Strud. And it's funny, when the Oilers in their heyday in the 80s, when they were winning Stanley Cups, and then they were playing in Canada Cups and all that, I always wondered, how was the motivation on a Tuesday night in New Jersey? And the Oilers back then, with Gretzky and Curry and Coffey and all those, they'd have nights where they would lose like 8-1. And you're like, how can this Stanley Cup contender lose like that? Because they lost focus. But what I also like about this 6-day stretch or 5 whatever day stretch for the Oilers, they've traveled a lot. They get to have a 5-day mental break from hockey, and they get to be husbands and dads for 5 days. Take their kids to school. They're around at dinner time. They're not traveling. I think This is a physical and mental reset for the Oilers at a time of the season where they can just, stay away from hockey. They don't, no games, no nothing, no social media, no media questions. They can simply reset and be part of the family again, because then the push comes into Christmas. So I do think it's a good time for the Oilers, and I do think they really are going to benefit from this week of practice and just being at home for 5-6 days before the next stretch starts.
Yeah, I mean, they are going to practice at least a couple of the days. I think they'll take tomorrow off. And guys, like that road trip, we were hard on the group because they weren't playing well enough and didn't win enough games for sure. But that was a bit of a grueling road trip. You go out east, you got 3 and 4 nights, then you come home one day and then another game. But this will really be a good opportunity for them to truly recharge their batteries. They're going to get at least 2 full days away from the rink, I believe, before they play on the Friday. They had a travel day that got messed up due to some weather issues, and that was supposed to be a team day off, but they ended up having to stay overnight and then travel the following day on the day off. So they've got another day off coming as well. So yeah, I think it'll be a nice combination of working on some stuff, but also getting some time to reload and regroup, because it's been a grueling schedule, Struds. Like it really has been.
If I'm not block, tomorrow's a day off for sure. Practice 2 hard days, Monday, Tuesday. Like hard, I don't mean 2 hours, but have those are workman-like days. Let's get going after it. Then I give them Wednesday off. Then practice Thursday before you fly to Utah, play Friday. That would how I'd lay it out. So you kind of have like a mini training camp mid-season, and then hit it hard. And I think that'd be I'd guess that's the way it's going to shake out, boys.
All right. That was Struddy's World, brought to you by DLR Vinyl Products. Get your 92 brownie points ready for Vasili Podkolzin, and it is time for the happy music and brownie points, brought to you by Hamel's Premium Jerky, world-famous jerky located right here in Alberta using prime Alberta beef. 14 tantalizing flavors. They got a great sale on. $85 gets you 3 pounds. 3 pounds of beef for $85, regular $120. So great savings, and as always, free shipping throughout the province. AlbertaJerky.com. Use the code GotYourBack for an additional 10% off. Brownie?
I've got 27 brownie points for Vasili Podkolzin. For the 27 minutes early, he goes on the ice every day before practice. That goal that he scored today was instinctive. It was muscle memory. He wasn't thinking. He wasn't dusting it off. It was on and off the stick. And to me, that's someone that has been practicing and feeling confident with what he's doing on the ice before practice. So 27, because he's on the ice 27 minutes early. I've got seven brownie points to the Oilers PK. Strud said it. 7 straight games without a goal against. That's huge. The New York Rangers got a good power play, and they did not get a sniff. And this game changed when Darnell Nurse scored a shorthanded goal late in the first period. I got talking about Nurse. He gets 25 brownie points. Comes back from having his bell rung. He was excellent in this hockey game. I know there was a blooper late in the game that you want back, but he looks assertive and aggressive both with the puck and when he's in front of his own net. He's physical again. He's playing the way Darnell Nurse has to play. He's continued the good play that he had before he was hurt. I've got 13 brownie points for Mattias Janmark. I know that Chris Knobloch talked about him after the game, said the last 4 to 6 weeks he's been excellent, and he has. He's been the most consistent of all the players in the bottom 6, and he actually might be the most consistent winger that the Oilers have had this year. Another strong effort for Mattias Janmark. And I got to give some love to Evan Bouchard. He gets 2 big brownie points. It wasn't for the goal and the assist. It wasn't for the +3. He played a quiet, low-event defensive game. There's been too many high-event games for Evan Bouchard lately where he's getting turned inside or out. He's throwing the puck through the middle of the zone in his own end. Tonight, it was simple. And he can play offensively. The play he made to McDavid, that slap shot pass, fantastic. But the fact that he played a quiet game defensively, to me, was a bigger thing for him going forward. And the last one, I got 44 brownie points to to the new Professional Women Hockey League PK rule. It's called the no escape rule. If Connor McDavid, or like for example tonight, if the Edmonton Oilers, Darnell Nurse takes a penalty, he goes to the penalty box. The other 4 guys on the ice cannot change. They must start the penalty shorthanded. So if you have 3 forwards and a defenseman out there, they cannot change until after the puck has been dropped. I think it's a pretty cool rule that they have in the women's game. I think it'd be kind of neat seeing that, trying to create more offense. I thought that was a pretty cool rule, and I think that it'd be something that would be neat to see in a junior or a minor league game to see how it would be in a men's hockey game. But I'm giving them props for trying to make the women's game a little more offensive.
What do you think, Struds?
I love it for that league. I don't like it for the NHL, and this is why. I believe you're taking away ice time for players that are specific in those roles. So I wouldn't be in support of that.
So as a proud card-carrying member of the penalty-killing fraternity,
that's
you
right.
should be allowed to go out there when that event happens, because that's your dinner. That's your food at the dinner table.
100%. You're taking the food right out of my kid's mouth if you don't let me get out there and kill that 2 minutes of penalties.
Love it. That was a great set of brownie points. Brownie, Gord wants you to be honest. Like, he wants you to be honest. Had you not been chirped ahead of time about going 92 points for Podkolzin, were you just going 92? Did you make that stuff up after I called you out?
I was not going 92. I was going 1 for his first goal of the season. But then after I got chirped, I changed it to 27.
I like it. Good stuff. Appreciate the honesty. You know what, you guys? We are a little bit remiss here. So a quick comment from each of you. I thought Connor McDavid had an excellent night tonight, and we probably don't talk about McDavid enough, but he had one of those nights, it seemed to me, he was just all over the place. He was igniting things. I know power play could have been a little bit better, but was it just me, or was McDavid a major catalyst for, big portions of this game, Brownie?
He was excellent. He had jump, and he didn't want the game to end. It's funny, sometimes star players, the game's out of hand, you don't see them as much late in the game, but when you're feeling it, and McDavid was, he wanted to be on the ice. And the goal that he scored on the, I don't know if it was a 2-on-1, 2-on-2, the one that was just him and Jonathan Quick at the end, I mean, Quick had to be sitting there thinking, you've got to be kidding me. I'm one-on-one with Connor McDavid, and he's got time and space. McDavid was excellent in this hockey game, and has been. You take away the Montreal Canadian game, he's got a pretty good stretch of games going right now, Connor does. He's flying up the stats board and the point leaders. He found his game, and a big reason the Oilers right now are on a nice stretch. I don't know what the record is in the last while, but they have a pretty good record right now. And think about it. Think what McDavid's doing. I think that gives him 17 points or something in his last 8 games, something along that line. And that's with a terrible power play, which he usually feasts on. These are 5-on-5 points. So, no, Connor McDavid was excellent and has been for a while.
Yeah, I think that he was well off the first page of the points leaders, just a short time ago. Now I think he's 11th in the league. Like, that's just crazy, and caught up to everybody. And then, I love that you bring up that second goal, Brown, because he reminds me of how most of the kids you coached at around 10, 11, and 12, they skated in. They're like, what's that thing the coach talked about? Oh, passing. I can pass it. Well, for Connor, it was the opposite. He was like, what's that thing that coach talks about? Oh, shooting. Because he didn't want to shoot it. I think he was trying to find Nuge on the back door. And he's like,
for sure.
Crap, I'll shoot this.
He knew he needed that goal.
Yeah. He goes, you know what? Screw it. I'll shoot it in the net here. It was the last thing he wanted to do. And he did it. So pretty funny. And it's good to see him. He was flying tonight, absolutely flying up the ice. So I think for him, I just like it before, the reset for him, for everyone, just take a deep breath. Okay. We made it through the first quarter. It's not a disaster. We're in striking distance to the top of the division. A couple good practices. Let's get after and start our pre-Christmas push here.
60 goals, not out of reach potentially for Leon Draisaitl too. He's got 16 in the 22 games that he's played.
he continues to find the back of the net. I wonder if he'll turn this into a chase for 60 or not this year. Brownie, thanks so much, buddy. We appreciate it.
Thanks, buddy.
Sounds good, guys. Take care.
All right, that is Rob Brown. Zuby, I'm going to call a bit of an audible here. Before we go to break, I want to get one more segment in. So let's get to our HSE Core Services. Can you turn that around, Zuby?
Oh,
sorry for the
no.
Sorry for the curveball at you.
Touch of a
but
button.
I want to get a little bit more in here before our next break. So let's get to Core Blue Liners, brought to you by HSE Core Services. If you're a small to medium-sized business, HSE Core has your back when it comes to health and safety compliance. From creating and managing a tailored health and safety program that meets all legislation and core requirements, HSE Core supports clients' operations every step of the way. Visit hsecor.com, hsecore.com. Struds, you were looking forward to breaking this guy down for tonight's game.
I've got a lot of favorite defensemen. This guy is at the top of my favorite defenseman list, Adam Fox. He is so smart. And you hear people talk about it all the time. And let's say, I'm going to tell you why I think he's so smart. He doesn't skate like Cale Makar. He doesn't have a bomb like Evan Bouchard. He's not big like Victor Hedman, but he is consistently amongst the final, like the top 5 or top 10, whatever, Norris Trophy candidates or finalists, because he's so smart. He never takes a hard stride. I don't think they have to wash his equipment after, because he never has to. He's always in the right place. His head is up all the time. The way he uses his feet to create deception, he'll be skating one way, turn his toes the other way, and then go back and kind of, freezes the guy, then go back and look the other way. He's elite, and he's all over the offensive zone. If you never watched hockey before, you don't know if he's a forward or a D. He's all over the place. He's behind the net. He's in front of the net. He's up top. And he would be a challenge to play with as a partner, just because, you'd have to figure out, where is he? Where is he coming from? And how many 2-on-1s am I going to have to take? But the offense that he creates and the way he loves the puck on his stick, like, he is so much fun to watch. Again, doesn't skate like Makar, not big like Hedman, doesn't have a Bouch-like shot, but always in the conversation for Norris finalist trophy voting.
Yeah, I love that point you make about him. Like, if you were to say, what's his strongest asset? Like, a lot of defensemen are known. They're just known. They've got that one element, right? So Makar, it's just that ridiculous skating ability. And other guys got the bomb. And he's really, really good at anything. But he's just been such a good defenseman for a long time here. He's a huge, massive part of this team and their future. And just one of those guys that he's a big part of. He's a massive part of it. And a lot of the success of the Rangers is going to kind of run through him. He's crucial for this team to get, if they want to go on a deep playoff drive, I mean, he's going to have to be Conn Smythe candidate too.
Yeah, well, yeah, probably. Yeah, you're probably right. He's just, if you're a young defenseman or you have a kid who's a defenseman, have him watch this guy, because he's always moving. He's always in the right place. It felt like during the game, he'd always pop up in the right place, right? Now, again, it's hard to really, I'm not going to say watch tonight's game and you're going to love Adam Fox. Like, tonight's a hard night to really give any love to any Rangers players, but he exemplifies smart hockey. And I'll compare him to another guy, Nick Lidstrom. Nick was the same way. Nick, was a little bit bigger than him, obviously, but not the fastest, not a bomb, nothing's like, most players have something like, this is what he is. This is what he does. He's big, he's fast, he shoots hard, he's whatever, but he's smart. And that's really what he is all about. And I just love watching him play. And I'll watch Rangers games just to watch him. Over Panarin, who was also very smart, over Zibanejad, over Kreider. He is head and shoulders my favorite player on the New York Rangers. Head and shoulders, and that's over Panarin.
That was Core Blue Liners, brought to you by our good friends over at HSE Core Services. All right, Zuby, let's take a quick break, and then we got a few segments left, so lots remaining here on Got Your Back, presented by Play Alberta.
Specializing in heavy-duty commercial truck powertrain repair, performance, tuning, and part sales, Adrenaline Diesel's professional team is ready to assist you with all of your needs, from the simplest oil changes to engine conversions, overhauls, and engine modifications. Featuring an all-new online parts store and machine shop to manufacture, replicate, or repair parts, visit adrenalinediesel.ca.
So at Timberhouse, our guiding philosophy is naturally inspired living. We believe that through design, we can solve problems and enhance people's lives. We follow biophilic design principles in all of our builds to incorporate natural materials, natural light, to enhance all the spaces in a home. When you have your space perfectly reflect who you are and what you value, and it's made well, we think that that just leads to better living.
Time now to take a lap, brought to you by Aecon. They've got over 150 years in the construction industry, spearheading some of the most notable projects across Canada, operating across North America, but very proudly here in Edmonton. And by the way, they are hiring. If you have a skill set you think they might need, or if someone you know does, hop onto their website, aecon.com, click join our team. You can take a look at the long list of jobs that they have. So always looking for quality people to join their fantastic team. Check out the website, aecon.com, and click on Join Our Team. Struds, what's going on out there tonight, bud?
A huge milestone for Sidney Crosby. 600 goals scored today. Finally, it's taken him a while. The big man, he scored a lot of goals, but it hasn't happened as quick as he wanted. And I love that it was on a pass from Chris Letang. So he gets to 600. In Pittsburgh, it was a 2-1 goal, or one to make it one for Pittsburgh. Unfortunately, Utah just hammered him 6-1. But I think it's special is from Letang, a one-time from side of the net. Teammates flooded on. So something to celebrate for Sid and his buddies. But I don't think there'll be much celebrating there the rest of the year, as I believe players will be knocked off that group. And it's going to be a death march like Napoleon leaving Russia in the winter.
Oh,
Not
man.
much.
It is some kind of painful. By the way, have we had a show since the fight? What did you think of his scrap the other night?
Yeah. With
Kyle Connor?
Kyle Connor. Yeah, Kyle Connor. It's funny, like two guys. I love seeing guys like that hook up. Like they have no idea what they're doing. It's like, it's like it's fun to watch. And I love that like Sid kind of went looking for it. And so that was, I think they said it was his 8th or 9th fight. That was Kyle Connor's first. So can you imagine you ever get into fights in your NHL? Well, I only scored 400 goals. I did fight one guy, Sidney Crosby.
Yeah,
like,
that's almost
crazy.
That'll be his best claim to fame potentially. When
it'd be great.
When all is
It'd be great.
Done,
Pissed off Sid.
Who's the best player? The best player that you fought, like the guy you were fighting, and you were like, "Man,
Shanahan.
is this a good trade-off for us?" Okay,
Shanahan for sure. Not even close. He was ahead, way over everybody else.
Just throwing that big forehead into his knuckles, trying to break the hands.
I guess maybe Shea Weber too. Shea was tough, but Shea, although Shanny fought too. But yeah, sometimes the good players, they wanted to get a win, so they want to fight. Bad news out of Carolina in overtime. So we already know Frederick Anderson is out, for a long time, 2, 3, 4 months, whatever it is. And then this is a tough name for old Uncle Struddy, but Pyotr Kochekov, the now starting goalie for the Canes, gets hit by his own D-man, Sean Walker, in overtime, and you could tell his belt was wrong. And he left. So no update from Rod the Bod, their coach, after the game, but Spencer Martin went in there. You're getting down to Spencer Martin. The Canes are off to a good start. No disrespect to Spencer Martin, but that's a long ways off Anderson and Pyotr. So keep an eye on that. Could affect the Canes' ability to keep pushing like they have so far this year.
Yeah, for sure. Goaltending, man. Like they got off to the start they wanted. In a lot of ways, they are, they're the standard in a lot of ways, but that can definitely trip them up. You got something else? Was there one more?
Just quick one. Quinn Hughes, captain of the Canucks, hits Norris from behind, boarding, and gets 5 minutes and tossed out. So
what'd you think?
I didn't love the call. It's, I think maybe 2. The problem is that Quinn's not a very big guy. So he pushes him in there. Doesn't look as violent. If that's Darnell Nurse, people are wanting to throw Darnell Nurse out of the league. But I liked it because it was from behind. They aired on the side of like, let's send a message. We're not going to let those happen. But if that's a playoff game, that's a 5. Oof. I have a hard time with that one.
Struds, I wasn't watching it. Did they call it a 5 and then review it and uphold the 5?
That is how I saw it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's how I saw
interesting.
it.
I'm not going to talk out of both sides of my mouth here. I've been railing on the league for not taking hitting from behind seriously enough. That had all the ingredients of potentially being worse. Couple of feet from the boards, right in the numbers, right from behind. Player was exposed in a dangerous spot. He went ahead and did it. Might have been a little bit harsh, but I'm not going to complain about it because I think the league has needed to do a better job on these ones. So that was taking a lap. Yeah, for sure. That was taking a lap, brought to you by our good friends over at Acon. So along those same lines, Strud, we'll continue taking laps around the whole league. And a few scores of note tonight in the National Hockey League. Our scoreboard brought to you by Canadian Club in honor of the founding year of the Canadian Club Distillery, 1858. The all-new CC Classic 18-year-old high proof comes in at 58%. Highest proof Canadian Club Classic to date. Spicy vanilla rich oak, a butterscotch finish that is oh so smooth. So what mattered to the Oilers out there tonight, buddy?
Yeah, tons of games, everybody. So the Flames in a shootout beat the Wild tonight. So, I mean, that's pretty good. The Flames keep going under Ryan Huska. They beat both the Rangers and the Wild. Obviously, owners can only beat the Rangers, so that's a big win for them in a shootout. I believe it was Rasmus Andersson who got the winning goal. The Kings and the Kraken, 2-1. The Kings win this one. Quentin Byfield with a power play goal midway through the game gets them going. Of note, Warren Fogle, 6 shots tonight. So he continues to attack the net there. Yeah. And then the last one, Vegas and the Habs. Vegas 6-2. Their big boys had a good game. Samuel Montembeault got pulled after 5 goals. So the Habs' dreary season continues. And Vegas gets it. So kind of everyone around the Oilers won tonight.
I thought for sure you were going to go to the Avalanche with their 7-4 win over the Florida Panthers because your boy Mikko Rantanen had himself a night. He has 4 points tonight, buddy.
Yeah. There's a few games I wanted to get to that I couldn't really. There's just too many. There's 15 games tonight. Yeah. The Canucks won 4-3. The Sens kind of struggling. The Caps
Jake
don't win.
With a couple of goals there. Sorry to interrupt you. Jake DeBrusk with a couple of goals there for the Canucks.
The Bruins win again this afternoon, 2-1. Yeah. And then the Capitals lose to the Devils. So, and the Jets lose. So there was a lot of interesting storylines around the league today. Wins and losses.
All right, that was our scoreboard brought to you by Canadian Club. Before we get to Ask Us Anything, Zuby, let's get to wrapping up our DeBoer's YouTube poll, my friend. Look at me. Look at me all grown up remembering to do one of the segments on our show. I didn't even hear the question, Zuby, so I'm interested to hear what this might be.
Okay, there was a suggestion. Maybe the wording could have been slightly different, but I think you'll get the the spirit of it, if you will. So the question tonight was, who had the best strudwick story tonight? Mm-hmm. And the options were Podkolzin, Nurse, Bouchard, or Stu Skinner. And Struddy argued, I think what we came to land on is that maybe redemption was the wrong word. But I felt like there was a redemption. For Podkolzin, he's been playing well, but the redemption, I guess, was finally getting the goal for all the hard work. Yeah. That was the redemption.
I don't know. I mean, the last time we saw Darnell Nurse, he'd been sliding across the ice with a visor full of blood. That was pretty tough. That was pretty ugly. So for him to get in quicker than people might have thought and snipe a goal that was as nice as that was, and then tapping on the head afterwards, I think that's got to be the winner by a mile, isn't it?
Pods is winning it. Pods taking again. I think people just feeling good about Pods tonight. Maybe they sort of got smelled what I was cooking with the question. Yeah. So gotcha. Podkolzin took 51% of the vote. Nurse did come in second at 22%. Stu Skinner in at third at 15%. That surprised me a little bit. I kind of thought people were going to be a little bit more on Bouchard just because it was a rough one last game. He got 10% of the vote, so 344 votes, and that's your De Boer's Golf Shop and Fitting Center YouTube poll.
Right on. Emma Terry giving you a little chirp, saying you look like you're in your pajamas tonight. What's happening is with the top.
Well,
he looks a little pajama-like.
It might.
This
Maybe
whole thing.
This whole thing that like I said, Old Navy was having a sale. They never let me down, and this is my sailing shirt. I think I got crabs and. I'm not going to clip that out of context. There are crabs and anchors on my shirt. If it looks pajama,
there was another pretty good. Go ahead.
I will likely sleep in this shirt tonight. So if you want to say it looks pajama in that sense, yes, it is.
A little bit. Yeah. There was a good chirp earlier, too, that said Struddy's like The Rock and Rishaug is Kevin Hart. I thought it was kind of like mid-show. It came in and I chuckled. I didn't want to break up the flow of what we were talking about. And I don't know who it was, but I thought it was a pretty good chirp. So on that note, let's get to Ask Us Anything, brought to you by Mortgages by Maria. If you're looking to lower your monthly payment, shorten your loan term, or just want to understand your options, Maria Gallus with Maximum Mortgages has got you covered. With the Bank of Canada lowering those rates, you could save thousands on your mortgage. So if you're renewing, refinancing, or purchasing a new home or investment property, contact Maria at mortgagesbymaria.ca.
I figured you'd come over the top on any Kevin Hart comparison with your height. Remind us that you're 6'2", and say there's no way.
Yeah, but next to Struds, I mean, I am 6'2" and change. Next to Struds, though, it's still I'm. By the way, Struds, I saw Struds down at the rink today, Zuby. Like he had just gotten off the ice, and Struds, man, like your poor head after having worn a helmet, Zuby. It was like. It was like, when he had been on a massage table for 3 hours and had the lines burnt into his head from the helmet, just suffering and holding on for dear life, buddy.
Safety first, tight, right? I wear it tight. Can't trust those kids out there.
I was going to ask that, or is that you have the biggest helmet they can get, and that's that money can buy, and that's just as big as your head is. That's all you can do.
I think it's time for a new helmet. My head is growing for sure.
Okay, here's an interesting point from K Gill 39 saying, Nurse played 24 minutes tonight. This helped Ekholm and Bouchard play less than usual and provide more quality play. There's lots of things Nurse brings to the game, but do you think that was helpful for that pair? We talked about them struggling, but they looked better tonight too.
Yeah, he's important to this team. Like, there's his detractors, but he's an important mini munching D for this group. So I wouldn't read too much into the minutes tonight. The fifth and sixth guys were nearing 18 minutes, and that's pretty rare. The game got away from the Rangers, so you were able to just roll everyone and play everyone more. But the point is still accurate. They need Darnell Nurse in there, and they need him to play because he's a 20, 25-minute guy every night. He doesn't seem to get tired.
2 quick points. It's really trending in the right way with Darnell Nurse here. He's putting up points. He's playing with confidence. His game is turning in the right direction. He has not had – Kulak has been next to him more, and I think that's been great to have a little bit more consistency there, not having to carry some of those other guys. But his game is really trending in the right direction, and I continue to really like where Ty Emberson's game is and where it could potentially go.
I'm with you.
Okay, that's kind of what I was just going to get to, but I'll go in a different direction.
Sorry, buddy.
That's okay. Jack saying he feels that Skinner, that would be Jeff, is useless in a fourth line position. What happens as these other guys come back? There's a lot of ifs here. If Kapanen sticks around, if these other guys come back, does that keep pushing down? Is Jeff Skinner useful to the team in that role?
Yes. So I brought this up earlier in the show, Struds. If I'd have told you before the season started that Victor Arvidsson and Zach Hyman would be out of the lineup and Jeff Skinner wouldn't be in the top 6, you'd have said I was insane.
Oh, for sure. And I don't think he was on the fourth line though today, was he? Wasn't he beside Henrique and who else? Henrique and whoever I'm missing there. They moved around. Anyways, he needs to meet and the team needs to meet somewhere and find some common ground for him to play further up the lineup. I don't know what needs to happen. It seems like Podkolzin's in there beside the big guy, and then he got, Nuge with 97. So I don't know where he fits in. And that is not easy for the player on a 1-year contract to have right now. So I don't know. I don't want to get too far ahead, but does this come to a head where they have to the player and the team have to make a decision that, maybe there's a better spot for him. I don't know. Like, I don't want to get too far ahead, but there's not a lot going on, Shogger, right now.
It's not fitting great. Yeah, it's not fitting great. And, guys, when they change locations too, sometimes it takes a little bit of time. But I think you kind of see signs of maybe that being it. And I'm not sure that that's it here, Struds. I don't know if this is a change of location issue or something like. I don't necessarily get the sense that's the problem. I think he's playing his game.
Yeah, and that's where I say he has to meet them in the middle, right? Where he has to understand he's more of a shooter here, right? And go get the puck and shoot. And that's hard when you're used to carrying the puck and having it around you. So I'm not running him out of town, but the player also is on a 1-year contract, right? So he's got to figure out what's best for him as well as the team. Very interested to see what happens.
All right. The other night when we were making excuses, or I was drawing excuses from the chat, the one I didn't put in was either Neil Garrity or Shane Matheson. I think one of those guys said something about hearing rumor that there was illness in the dressing room. Well, it sounds like there's some more chatter about that. So CK Pond tonight said, how bad is the illness going through the team, and how long has this been going on?
Yeah, well, I think it's something that they've been dealing with. But here's an interesting thing. So the other day we talked to Corey Perry about, it was after that really bad loss. Like, how do you take it upon yourself as individuals, just kind of make sure you're doing your part? And he's like, everybody shows up to work tomorrow. We all show up to work tomorrow and we all dig in and off we go. And then the next day, half the team wasn't there. It wasn't an optional, but a whole bunch of guys were not there. So I do believe, and to be honest with you, I thought Chris Knobloch sounded a little bit sickish tonight too. So we know Evan Bouchard definitely is feeling the effects of it. And when that happens, Struds, it's usually there's probably 5 or 6 guys with varying degrees of it and 1 or 2. It's never just one guy's sick and can't play. Guys have it, and some guys are just playing through it.
And it makes sense. I mean, the last game they had no energy, right? And then even, Montreal didn't look great. So was it Montreal? No. Yeah. Montreal didn't look great. So, but every team deals with it, right? Everyone has to. So you're not going to give them capes for dealing with it. You just got to deal with it, right? You got to play through it, and especially with this time. So now this rest time is coming up, right? And I agree. Knobloch to me sounded a little bit hoarse.
Yeah. 1 or 2 more, Zuby, and we'll wrap up.
Okay. A couple of people kind of down on Derek Ryan tonight. Aaron St. Pierre pointing out Derek Ryan, 9 minutes, 2 penalties. Kajula, 2 games, draws 3 power plays. I think there's been chatter too that Kajula and Brown have already been sent down. That could be cap stuff too with this long break. But there's lots of people on the stream feeling like maybe the Derek Ryan and Noah Philp switch is going to happen somewhere down the line, and they'd be in favor of that. How do you guys feel about that idea?
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt that Philp's trending towards becoming an NHLer, a full-timer, right? But right now, the best place for him is in the minors. And, Derek Ryan's a smart player. He figures things out. He moves around well. So, yeah, I trust the development process for Philp. This isn't just about one game. It's about, the next 5 or 6 years for him. Same with Savoy.
Part of what's making it hard for Derek Ryan too, like Derek Ryan, I don't believe the vision for him was to be an every single night guy heading into this year. Like if he had 1 out of every 3 games and somebody else platooned in there, I think his overall game night to night might be a little better, Struds. I just don't know that he needs to be an absolute every night guy, but the way they're rolling their roster right now, there's just no choice with 12 forwards.
Yeah, and maybe that's something to look towards next year is have a little more cap flexibility, right? That's a long ways away. Let's see how it shakes out.
Okay, I got a fun and random one here to end it on. That's not even a question, but I'm turning it into a question. MMA Terry said, My daughter put window washer fluid in the fuel tank of my snowblower. Yes, I was not watching or instructing properly. Now, he did say that he also added, he had a bunch of comments there. He didn't start it. He caught it, so he never started it with washer fluid in the tank. But I was wondering, you guys have more kids than me and older kids. Do you guys have a story about, you guys must have, you have like into teenagers. What's something that your kid ruined? Do you guys have a good story about your kids negligently completely destroying something of value?
Shogger, you got something?
I mean, the problem is nothing compared to what I did once. So nothing that they would have done. Like, I'm the one that does these things. So I've got two of them. I'll only tell one. I was bartending at Earl's, and they redid the tap system on the kegs so that you could bleed. You know, you got to bleed off the top of a keg because it's got the foam. Like, you got to bleed off the top a little bit. So they had made it so it could just bleed it off right into the drain. And so I started my shift after the training session on how it all works, went and bled off the kegs, turned them all on, went and started bartending. And as I was bartending, there were bubbles coming up through the floor in the floor drain. And I was like, what is going on? I emptied 4 kegs into the floor drain at the Earl's I was bartending at in Kamloops. So I'm not going to throw my kids under the bus because they've never done anything as dumb as that.
Yeah, my kids have ruined my hairline, right? I had this sick hair before that. So that's number one that they've done bad for sure.
All right. That was Ask Us Anything. Appreciate that light one at the end there, Zuby. Do you have any answer for that, Zuby? Your kids are a little young for that still. They're a little too.
They are. They haven't destroyed anything yet. I think about.
Oh, you wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming.
I think about what you said though. I screwed up a shoot when I was a student, but I was hired. And I filmed stuff way overexposed and like really screwed up this production company's gig that they had. But they knew that I was a student when they hired me, so part of it's on them too. But
that's on them. That is on them.
I would never do that. And now I know how to use the zebra stripes now.
Good stuff. That was Ask Us Anything, brought to you by Mortgages by Maria. We'll wrap up with our play of the day, brought to you by Gallery Dental. From air polisher cleanings to advanced treatments, Gallery Dental offers a full range of services designed to keep your smile healthy. Their experienced team provides personalized care with the latest technology to make sure you get the best treatment possible. Contact gallerydental.yeg.com. Zuby, did you get that video ready? Did I ask you for that video of Doug Murray?
Nope.
I didn't. Okay.
Oh, you put it in the chat.
That.
You had the Thornton thing. Oh, yeah. You did say play of the day. Darn.
Oh, that's okay. Don't worry about it, buddy. Struds, basically for Joe Thornton's retirement. And I don't know if you saw it with the jersey and everything going on. It was a great ceremony, but Doug Murray told a story about how Joe Thornton didn't want anybody to know about it, but he asked Doug Murray to help him move. Said, can you show up and help me with a move? And Doug Murray showed up, and it was Joe Thornton and him moving a homeless lady and her 2 kids into an apartment that he had gotten for them because they needed a place to stay. These is just one of the many behind-the-scenes things that a lot of these players do, but Joe Thornton in particular. And Struds, if you didn't see the video, it was unreal. Like Douglas Murray, who's as big and gruff as a guy there is. I mean, he got teary even just telling the story about that's just who this guy and his family is. So I had that dubbed for our play of the day, but pretty cool for Jumbo to see that ceremony tonight.
Yeah, that's an amazing story. And the craziest thing is that I think Joe Thornton's one of the most, if not the most loved teammate of all time. Like, never heard a bad thing about him. Always seemed to do the right thing. People love Joe Thornton. Teammates, everyone loves him. So I'm sure it's been an awesome weekend celebrating Big Jumbo.
Right on. Oh yeah. I feel like that celebration will go on for a few days as well.
Yeah.
I certainly knew I'd have a good time. 100%. All right, Struds, thanks, buddy. Enjoy your Sunday, and we'll. I guess we're gonna chat. What day? I think we're eyeballing Tuesday night for our next pod, buddy.
Sounds good. I'll be there.
All right, Zuby. Good job tonight, buddy. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Fun show.
And thanks to all of you for joining us on the live stream tonight. We greatly appreciate it. Have a fantastic, I guess it's Sunday already, so have a great Sunday. Stay safe out there on the roads.
And we'll chat again in a couple of days. Big thanks to our title sponsor, Play Alberta. See you, everybody.